Hello and welcome to the Elite Chat brought to you by Chopin TV. My name is Nasif Shalagbe. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program today. As you all know, the Elite Chat is a show where we feature informed guests to talk about various issues. Joining me on the program today is former Minister of Youth and Sport Development and also Kwara Central PDP Senatorial candidate, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program, sir.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be with you.
All right, sir. Okay, let's just start the conversation recently we all saw the pictures and a video online showing that you attended the special prayer organized to commemorate the third year anniversary of the senator representing Kwara Central at the National Assembly.
Yes.
I'm talking about Dr. Ibrahim Yahya Oluregbe.
Yeah.
A lot of people were confused because Oluregbe is not from your party. What can you tell us about that, sir?
Well, I mean, thank you very much. Yes, Dr. Oluregbe is not from my party, like you said, but Dr. Oluregbe is my brother, he's an Iloriman like me. But more importantly, if you know my background, you know that my family house, Iloluwo Homo in Alure, is directly opposite to Oluregbe. So it's more or less my elder brother, right? And it's also someone that I'm quite familiar with. So regardless of party affiliations, we remain brothers. So, and someone I always wish well, just like I know he wishes me well all the time. So when he organized the prayers and invited me, I have a duty as a younger brother to attend. So that's what it was all about.
So it's not about politics?
No, not at all. Absolutely, it's not about politics.
Okay, so let's talk about your aspiration now. In 2019, you aspired to become the governor of Kwara State, but you couldn't make it beyond the primary. So why did you settle for Senate this time around?
I did not settle for Senate because when you say settle, you make it sound like some kind of consolation prize. You know, it is not. I wanted to go to I wanted to be governor in 2019, like you rightly recalled, because my aspiration, my vision of development, my vision of progress is directly connected to executive responsibilities. So I'm someone who likes to solve problems on a daily basis. And I believe that I can do a lot of that directly as someone who has executive responsibility for the myriad challenges and issues facing our people in Kwara State. And all that. So that was why I aspired to be. And you also know that in the current dispensation, I also expressed interest. But the dynamics of our party, which required that the governorship be zoned to Kwara North, to the northern part of the state, also mean that as a disciplined and responsible party member, we have to allow that to happen. Now I'm running for the Senate because at this time my party believe that I'm best to represent the parties, to fly the party's flag at the National Assembly elections. So that's why I'm contesting for the Senate at this time, because they know that I can do it.
Okay, so let's move away from that. I will be talking about how you emerged as the consensus candidate of your party.
Yes.
So can you take us through a journey on how everything went?
Well, I mean, it was more or less very straightforward because in the end, our party, if you understand the way we operate as a party and as a political family, we try to minimize opportunities for rancor, right? A highly contested primary election often takes something away from party harmony, and people dissipate a lot of energy, a lot of resources trying to fight election within the party. But because all of us within our party more or less belong to the same political family, we tend to favor consensus, you know. So, and that was how I emerged, because at the end of the day, the entire party leadership recognized that this is the direction that we needed to go. And the other person who showed interest as well my father, Bolaji Abdullahi, graciously withdrew from the race for me being his son, you know, and so there was no contest, more or less. So the entire party leadership believed that this is the direction to go at this time, and that's how I emerged.
Okay, thank you. Your campaign team, Big Idea, it has been on everybody's lips, especially those from the opposition party. Can you briefly tell us what the Big Idea entails?
Well, thank you very much for the information you just gave me. I'm delighted to know that my campaign slogan is in the mouth of the opposition. It means that we are doing something right, you know. And you see, the notion of big ideas is that is a throwback to what Albert Einstein said, that you cannot confront a solution to a problem with the same level of mindset that created the problem, right? So for you to find a solution to a problem, your mindset has to rise above the level it was when the problem was created. Is the same thing that we are talking about. We know what the problems are. We know what the challenges are. Those challenges were there many years now. For example, the biggest challenge that we face in Kwara Central is not peculiar to Kwara Central, but it's directly concerns me as someone contesting election in Kwara Central, that the biggest challenge we have is that of poverty. Right? Poverty in its various dimensions, in its various ramifications, right? I grew up in this community. I went to my primary school here. I went to secondary school here, you know, and I've always been here, you know. So I know that the problem of poverty has remained over the years. With their underlying drivers of poverty in Ilori that is probably unique to Ilori, right? Lack of skill is one of them. That is not unique to Ilori. But there are other dimensions, other cultural dimensions, other behavioral dimensions that contribute to the entrenchment of poverty here. So I'm saying that for us to overcome these challenges of poverty, we have to rise above the mindset that we have always had, the traditional mindset that we've always had. And what is that mindset? The mindset of dependency, we have to overcome it, right? The mindset of waiting on someone to help you solve your problem. We have to rise above that. We have to begin to give real opportunities for people, especially now that if you look at the demography of Kwara Central, more than 70% of the population of Kwara Central now, at this moment as I speak to you, is below the age of below the age of 40. Okay. Right? Those between 0 to 19, they are about 60-something%. And if you add another 20% below the age of 40, then you have the overwhelming majority of the population. People like me are more or less in the minority at this time. I'm 53, but I'm in the minority of the minority. We are less than 5% of the population of Kwara Central as we speak. Right. So what I'm saying is that for us to overcome the challenges of poverty within the Kwara Central Senatorial District, we have to begin to think seriously about things that can deliver skill to young people. Things that can make young people a lot more productive than they are at this time. So it's only when we are able to make young people productive that you can create wealth. And it's only when you create wealth that people can live a more productive life, right? So the whole idea of big ideas, the whole concept of big ideas, the whole notion of big ideas is what kind of systems, what kind of platforms, what kind of situations can we create, right, that can help us to find new solutions to these old problems that we have always encountered. Look at ASA, for example, and part of Ilori East in the rural areas of Ilori. The biggest challenge is water. The biggest challenge is water. But you see, when thinking of water, we have to think beyond just drinkable water. We have to think about how lack of water creates to poverty, leads to poverty or adds to poverty situation in these rural areas. Because the woman that sells akara, for example, will need water. Someone that will do laundry will need water. Someone that will farm will need water. Someone that will sell food will need water. So water poverty on its own is a dimension of poverty which entrenches the whole idea of lack of prosperity, of want. I mean, I cited in a recent interview that for you to claim that you live above poverty line, right? Today in Nigeria today, you have to earn $1.80 in a day to claim to live above poverty line, okay. Right? So if you convert that to Naira, which I did at the time, it means that for you to live above poverty line, you must earn about 1,700 Naira per day.
1,700.
Yeah, you must earn about 1,700 Naira per day. I'm using the current exchange rate, okay. Right? You have to earn about 1,700 Naira per day. So for you to earn about 1,700 Naira per day, it means that you have to earn more than 30,000 Naira in a month, almost 40,000 Naira in a month. So how many people earn up to 50,000 Naira in Ilorin today? You see, so the point I'm making is that we have to create situations, and there are opportunities everywhere. So those of us aspiring, how do we create opportunities that young people can tap into? How do we help in education? How can we help in health? How can we help in youth development, skills, empowerment? How do we help in protecting the vulnerable? Right? So that's all these are what we have put together and what we call summarized as big ideas, you know. So I hope I'll have opportunity to speak more about this. Now the campaign has started, yes. You know, but it's all about finding new solutions, creative solutions to old problems.
Okay, so with everything you've said, do you think the people of Kwara Central, do you think the big idea will convince them to vote for you in the election?
Of course, because what are we talking about? Do you know what it means for a man to wake up in the morning and has no idea what he's going to eat?
That's poverty.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So do you know what it means for a man not to even have an idea where he's going to get money to pay for his child's school fees? Do you know what it means for a man to depend on another man to help him to pay the hospital bill of his wife? So what is more important than that? So while other people are claiming that they are in a position to give money to people, we are saying that we have to go beyond that and create opportunities for people to earn their own money themselves so that they can maintain their dignity and self-respect, right? The whole notion of big ideas means that we can create a system that can ensure that even if your child is leaving secondary school without the requisite education that can help him to progress in his career, we can help him. We can help to give him a second chance. So that, because he's not necessarily stupid, we can help to give him a second chance that can drive him forward and propel him forward in his career. It means that the big ideas mean that if you are a mechanic, right, in a lorry here, and you are not being patronized because people don't trust your skills because they think your skills are outdated, and they still take their sophisticated vehicles to Lagos or Ibadan, we will help you to upgrade your skill so that people can trust you and bring their vehicles to you, right? So that's what big idea is about. It's about how we can help people to rise up to their capabilities, to rise up to their possibilities, you know, and become more productive. You know, whether you are a hairdresser, or you are a plumber, or you are a carpenter, or you are a tailor, or you are a barber, how can we help? How can we support your business, right? How can we help you to grow? And how can we help you to become more productive? That's what it's about.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Your major opponent, Madam Sali Mustafa, holds a traditional title here in Ilorin, and he's also known for his philanthropic gesture. Don't you think people of Kwara Central will put this into account when making their choice?
How does someone being Turaki help me to feed my children? How does being Turaki help me to improve the education of my child? How does being Turaki help a tailor by the roadside to upgrade his skills and get more business, right? We are talking about things that affect, we're talking about things that affect directly the lives of the people. Look, how do you think I feel when I go to my area and I see people who are so poor that a 40-year-old man is looking like a 70-year-old man? How do I feel? What has that got to do with anybody's title? Do you think I feel happy to see young people roaming the street or begging me for money? Right? So what do you call philosophy? You see, Chopin, I'm greatly disturbed that we seem not to realize the potentials that we have. Why are we easily satisfied with someone digging one borehole here, someone giving some money here? Why are we easily satisfied with that? Where we can achieve so much. Look, I just gave an example this evening to some people. We have a brother, he's from my place. His name is Femi Adebayo. Do you know him?
Yes.
He just did a movie, Ageshikole.
Yes.
That movie is on Prime, Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I was speaking with him, right? You can't even imagine how much he made, how much money that was made from that movie, right? He's from here. Almost the entire movie marketing business in Lagos is built on the back of Kwara people. How come we are not taking advantage of that? How many of our young people do we have doing camera work? How many of our young people do we have doing editing, graphics, costuming, stage designing, right? How many of our young people do we have? If people making movies are making billions from it, can't our own people benefit from that and have opportunity to make some money out of that? Why can't we ensure that the industry that is making those movies has its roots here, if it is driven by our own people? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what has that got to do with anybody's traditional title, right? So do we want to continue? Do you see the choice is very clear? The choice is between someone who feels that you deserve self-respect and we can create opportunities for you to grow and become more productive, and someone who wants to continue to feel good that is dashing you money, right? So I know Kwarans will choose what I know Kwarans will, because when I was growing up, we are not a lazy people, right? Kwara Central people are not lazy people. When I was growing up in Okeanifo in the 80s through 90s, I didn't know one person that did not have an occupation. I did not know one person that did not have an occupation. I want to huso, I want to for, I want to provision, I want to akara, I want to take kuru, I want to. Everybody has a job. When someone is owing you money, you say, nobody Latin in Badon. So we are an enterprising people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to go back and rediscover that entrepreneurship spirit among our people, and that's the point I am making, right? So, and you see, people talk about impact, right? People talk about impact, and they measure impact by how many people they have helped to pay medical bills, how many people they have given money to eat, right? But what I'm saying is that, and they question people like us, right? But what I'm saying is that I was Commissioner for Education in 2007 to 2011. Where were you then? No, I'm asking you, where were you then?
I think I should be in secondary school.
You were in secondary school when I was Commissioner?
Yes.
But you are sitting here today interviewing me. What impact can be greater than that? Yes. You are the work I did.
Yes.
Right? Yes. What impact can be greater than this? I'm very proud of you. I know the work you do. But that's the work I did. It's for people like you that I sacrificed everything to do what I did as Commissioner for Education. So if you were in primary school or in secondary when I was Commissioner, you were the reason I did everything that I did. So that's the impact. What impact can be more lasting than educational impact? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my own legacy. Let other people point at their legacy beyond dashing people money. That's my own legacy. My own legacy is as invested in the development of human beings in this state, hundreds of thousands of them. Do you know how many children read my book, Sweet 16?
Yeah.
4.2 million.
Wow.
4.2 million young people read the book I wrote, Sweet 16. Right? What impact can be greater than that? Your next question.
Okay, so let's talk about your senatorial election. You've been a loyalist of the immediate past Senate president.
Yes.
Dr. Kwara. Political analysts are of the opinion that the Kwara Central Senatorial election is a battle between your boss and Governor Abrazak, because your major opponent, Madam Salim Mustafa, is being backed by the state governor. What will be your reaction to this?
So they see the senatorial contest as a proxy battle between the governor and Dr. Saraki. No, please. I think with due respect, Dr. Saraki was the Senate president of this country. You see, we should begin to show a little bit of respect to people. He was number 3 citizen in Nigeria. Does Dr. Saraki want to be governor of Kwara State? Is he on the ballot? Is he contesting to be governor of Kwara State? Dr. Saraki was governor of Kwara State in 2003 to 2011. How many years ago? 11 years ago. So, what business does he have with someone contesting for governorship, right? Yeah. And he left there, he rose and he became the number 3 citizen of this country, right?
That's great.
So now, you're now seeing people, I don't know, like I said, I will tell you that I was Commissioner for Education in this state, right? And I'm very proud of what we did when I was Commissioner for Education. I left there, I became the Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria, right?
Yes.
And then I became the national spokesperson of the ruling party at the time, right? Yeah, at the time. And you still see me as someone being used to fight a proxy battle? Right? I don't know what my opponent has done before, because he hasn't told us what he has done before, right? But I've just told you what I've done before, right? Yes. So I don't know if it's a proxy in anybody's battle, but I'm not a proxy, right? And I can tell you categorically that I'm contesting the senatorial election because I believe I can be part of people. Look, Chopin, Nigeria is facing a big crisis, such that we have never faced in our history. The crisis we face in this country today is such that we have never faced in Nigeria's history. It's grace of God that we are still alive and having this conversation, given where this country is today.
Yes.
So it's a very serious business. If you are looking at what's going to happen in 2023, it's going to be the year that will determine whether we are going to make it as a country or not. So anybody that is contesting election has to understand that he's on a rescue mission, right? It's either we go in there and be part of the solution and save Nigeria, or we continue to play with the same old self-serving politics that we've been playing, and Nigeria is not going to survive, right? So I'm taking this contest very seriously, because I believe that everything I've done in the last 21 years, my education, my career, my experience, comes down to this, that I will have to bring everything now to bear in being part of the people that will find solution to the problem of Nigeria. My job as a senator is going to rest on 3 things. A National Assembly person, a senator, does 3 things. Legislation, right?
Yes.
You make laws, right? Oversight, right? You oversee what people you make appropriation to in the executive, what they do. And representation. You represent your people in your constituency, right? If you read my manifesto, if you read my Big Ideas manifesto, you will almost think you are reading an executive manifesto. You know, but the point is that embedded in the idea of legislation and representation and oversight is the need to address directly the problem that bothers our people. But be that as it may, the core primary responsibility is to sit in that house in Abuja and represent the best of Kwara Central in finding solution to the problem of Nigeria, right? And ensure that when conversation is being held about the direction that Nigeria will go, that Kwara Central is not shortchanged. It means that you can think, it means that you can argue, you can debate, right? You can hold your own because you've had the requisite education and the requisite experience to hold your own among your peers who are coming there to defend the interest of their own constituencies, right? Yeah. So Kwara Central are not going to vote for people that they know that cannot sustain a debate, right? Yes. Because if you can't sustain a debate, how do you protect the interest of your constituency? Because the National Assembly is about debating. Yes. The only weapon in National Assembly is persuading other people to see your point of view, right? Yes. So how do you hope to persuade 108 people who also have their own interest to defend, right, to follow your own interest, if you cannot sustain an argument? If they do not respect you, that you have the right education that can make you to that can enable you to make compelling argument. If they don't respect you, that you have worked before, they know you. They know you. If they didn't know me when I was commissioner, they knew when I was a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If they didn't know me as a minister of Federal Republic, right, they will know me as National Public Secretary of the ruling party. Yeah. They see me on TV, they see me every day when we meet. So, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying all this to you now because campaign has started. Okay. So I'm not forgetting that. If I understand, you know.
Okay, so let's talk about the 2019 general election.
Yeah.
PDP was defeated by the Otoge movement. How prepared is your party for this coming election?
Well, thank you. I think the 2023 election is going to be different in many respects. Like I said previously, 2019 was a turning point for us. We are a political system that had been in power for a very long time. If you look through history, right? If you look through history, when a particular dynasty has been in power for a long time, they need to go through certain process of rejuvenation. And it's not always easy. They always have to pay a price for it, right? Yes. So, but what happened in 2019 was that our opponents were able to deploy all manner of propaganda, and they give the people of Kwara State, they framed us as the problem of the people, as the reason the people are in the situation that they are in, right? Yeah. And the people turned against us, right? It was very painful. We lost the election, but we have learned our lesson. And if you understand the process of development, you will know that there is more to learn from failure than from success, right?
Yes.
So we learned our lessons from the failure, of 2019. And it's not going to happen again. Now, the people that turned against us, majority of the people of Kwara State that turned against us also have learned their lesson, right? Because they've realized that they've turned against us unfairly, that people have sold them all manner of falsehood and lies and balderdash, and they bought it, and that's why they turned against us. Now, they created expectations among the people. They told the people, oh, these Saraki people are not good enough. We are better, and we are going. Once you vote for us, your life is going to be better. You are going to have, water will be running from in your bedrooms. The roads will be great. We will have super highways. Now, do we have super highways? Is water running from anybody's house now? So people have realized that it's all lies. And they are coming back to say, let's go back to the people that we know, the people that have always been with us. These people, we didn't know them. They turned us against our own people. It's the Saraki people that we know. They are the ones who will not go anywhere because they have always been here. When we lost election in 2019, we didn't go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere. I stayed here, right? Yeah. And we are here now. We are still here. No matter what happens, we will remain here because we have always been here. You know, we don't have anywhere to go. We will always be here, right? So I'm saying that 2023 is going to be different because the people have realized that they've been swindled.
Okay, so you mean APC have not, performed up to their campaign promises?
You tell me, have they? No, you live here. Have they?
Yes.
Go and read the. If you don't have, I will send it to you. What they call the Otoge Manifesto. Okay. Go search online, you will find it, and tell me one thing that is in that manifesto that they promised that they have delivered. In any case, have you forgotten that what is left now of what you call APC in Kwara State is just a tiny rump of the original party?
Okay.
Some of them are, is it not some of them that went to form YPP?
Yes.
Is it not some of them that went to NNPP?
Yes, SDP.
Is it not some of them that went to SDP? So what is left? What is left? A tiny rump that is just being sustained by government patronage and government resources, right? You take that out, what do you have left? Nothing. But we are here, we've always been here. Come rain, come shine, we are here, and we'll be here.
Okay. So every time I have an opportunity to speak with political bigwig like yourself, I ask a question. So how do you think Nigerian can get out of this current situation? What are your recommendations?
Number one, before you start talking of moving Nigeria ahead, you have to first of all arrest this drift. Nigeria is drifting now. And we're experiencing things that we've never experienced before. I said it. Right? Security, economy, education, healthcare. In all indices of human development, Nigeria is lagging behind. We are the poverty capital of the world. We have the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. We are home to the highest number of people who live below poverty line in the world. We are not going to be able to turn that around immediately because they are fundamentals. The number one thing that Nigeria will need to do is to have the kind of conversation we probably have never had before. This system that we are running, is it working for Nigeria? Our security architecture, is it working for Nigeria? Is it in the situation to deal with these cases of kidnappings and banditry and terrorism? The answer is no. Our economy that is dependent on oil, during COVID, Nigeria's oil sold for nothing. Nigeria was willing for some countries to take Nigeria's oil and pay nothing, to just take it off us. Nobody wanted to take Nigeria's oil because the entire economy that takes our oil, that use our oil in the world, had already shut down because of COVID. We had nothing else. But how many years have we been talking about productivity? And how can you ensure productivity in a country that universities have shut down for 7 months? So what you are going to do, the first thing is to look at the governance system itself, right? When you are using 94 or 95% of your budget to service debt, and your entire recurrent spending goes into payment of salaries, right? It means that you have to do serious thinking. Whoever is going to become the president of Nigeria in 2023 has to be someone who will have the courage to ask that question. And that question is going to happen in the National Assembly. And that's why I keep saying we have to make sure we put our best foot forward. One, we have to seriously begin to engage with the question of restructuring. I'm not talking of restructuring in the political sense, not necessarily, but I'm talking about how do we repurpose Nigeria for greater productivity, right? How do we ensure that in the real sense, Nigeria is truly a federation that is able to take care of people at the local level, right?
Yeah.
70% of Nigerians live in the villages, and that's where the poverty is, right? So how do we repurpose government and governance in a way that, so there's a whole lot of questions we are going to ask. Access to justice. When people invest in our economy, are they sure that their investment will be protected? So that the question we have to ask. That's number one. Number two, we have to review the entire education system in Nigeria. The education system, especially higher education, right?
Yes.
Is not fit for purpose anymore. Our higher education system was designed for the economy of the 70s and the 80s, right? The 21st century economy has left our education system behind.
Yeah.
So the big task that we need to do to repurpose Nigeria for productivity and competitiveness is to fix higher education, right?
Okay.
Number three, we need to have a new system of funding security in Nigeria and rethink the way we organize security in this country, because investment is a coward. Investment does not go to a place of insecurity, right? So we need to redesign our security system. We need to fund it differently. We need to operate it differently. Healthcare, right?
Yeah.
So when people are falling sick too often, it affects national productivity. And that's why you see that Nigeria's economy is growing, but the people are getting poorer. Do you know why? Because the economy is not connected to Nigerians. You understand?
Yeah.
Until we build an economic system that depends on the productivity of Nigerians, not on glow, on oil, on these big, you understand?
Yes.
So then Nigeria is not going to make progress. Have you noticed, I don't know, maybe I should ask you, when are you leaving Nigeria? Young people like you now, everybody is migrating and relocating to the United Kingdom, right? Yeah. So what hope do we have as a country? So we have to give young people a reason to stay here, right? Yes. So there's so much that can be done beyond what I can answer in this one interview. But I'm saying that anybody that wants to be part of leadership in Nigeria in 2023 has to be able to think innovatively, has to be able to think creatively, has to have the courage to ask the questions that we have not asked in the past.
So let's talk about your party at the national level. Yeah. Let's talk about the crisis between your presidential candidate, Bolaji Abdullahi, and the governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike. Do you think your party will resolve this crisis before the 2023?
Absolutely, because I know that conversation is taking place every day. Every day, conversations are taking place around this. I mean, you see, when you call this thing crisis, it's actually negotiation by other means. It's politics. It's all negotiation, right? And I'm very confident that before sooner rather than later, this problem will be solved.
Okay, thank you. So we have just a few seconds to round up on the show, but before we go, the 2023 election is just a few months away. What's your word of advice to the people of Kwara State?
Well, my advice is that the Kenyan anti-corruption crusader Patrick Lumumba. Yeah. You know that Professor Patrick Lumumba. He said the difference between Africa and the Western world is that in Africa we are given a blank check. Our vote is a blank check to choose your leader, to choose those who will lead you. Now, if we were buying a vehicle that you are given a blank check to buy between a Mercedes Benz and a Keke Napep, right?
Yes.
A Mercedes Benz means an efficient, quality, top class leadership.
Yes.
A Keke Napep mean it's also a means of transportation.
Yes, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Then why do Africans continue to settle for Keke Napep when they can buy a Mercedes Benz, right?
Okay.
So my advice to Nigerians and to Kwarans is that we should interrogate whoever comes to us and ask us to vote for him or her.
So
we should ask questions. We should know whether what you are buying is a Mercedes Benz or a Keke Napep. They are both a means of transportation, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you cannot use your blank check to buy Keke Napep and expect it to do the work of a Mercedes Benz. Right?
Sure.
So we have to be clear what we are doing, ask questions and hold people accountable and vote for people you know.
Okay, so that's all we have on today's the Elite Chat. We've come to the end of the program. We've been speaking with the PDP Kwara Central Senatorial candidate, Madam Bolaji Abdullahi. We hope when we invite you next time, you surely grant an invite.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to be with you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So,
thank you.
Don't forget to follow and like and subscribe to all our social media, to all our videos across our social media platform. My name still remains Nasif Shalagwe. We'll see you next week.